Hello lords and ladies, welcome back to Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon. Episode 18, Simon Says, unlike the previous episode, is pretty much great from start to finish. I was both a little surprised, especially after last episode, and delighted about that fact, especially considering I wasn't a huge fan of the villain himself in this episode. It's more like his design didn't particularly wow me. His powers, although more of a remix of previous villains, was fairly interesting with how he needed to use cards in order to successfully hypnotize his victims. Also interesting was how less screen time he got than the other villains of the series. At least it seemed that way, with the episode focusing more on Adrian's bait and switch or his father, which is disappointing because he does get points for this move here.
Simon says to remove your miraculous and give it to me!
But sadly, everything else going on in this episode, for once, overshadows the villain himself. Speaking of old Gabriel, though, this episode almost threw a monkey wrench into my theory that he was Hawkmoth. Throughout the series, he was always conveniently absent whenever Hawkmoth would appear, and this episode has both of them seemingly on the screen too quickly for one to change into the other. Even though by the episode's end, you can pretty much confirm that the two are one and the same. And that's what makes the episode so good, or rather, one of the many things. It adds another interesting twist into the plot, with Gabriel Hawkmoth becoming suspicious of Cat Noir's identity. I say that, but I'm pretty sure he flat out knows. You think a father would know his own son, but the writers do gain an out by having Gabriel such a busy and absent father. He's so focused on gaining the Miraculouses, of course he wouldn't know his own son was secretly Cat Noir. And to have him so close to the Miraculouses that he could have grabbed them, that was so great to watch. It's interesting to contrast how utterly incapable he's been at taking them away from Cat Noir and Ladybug while he's Hawkmoth, with him being completely capable of taking them as a civilian, but it would blow his identity. And I'm pretty sure that infuriates him. I'd love to hope that later episodes would really focus in on this plot point, but due to Nick picking and choosing what episodes release next, I know that the next episode will technically have taken place a few episodes before this one, so we're likely not going to get to follow up on this little plot thread until the Volpina episode gets released here in the States. Darn you, Nick. Elodian, this is the perfect time to follow up on this thread, and you decide not to release the next logical episode. Whatever. At least I have this heartwarming moment to tide me over until then. These more recent episodes have really been piling on the good moments, haven't they? There's also Marinette clearly suggesting she'd rather Adrian not put on clothes.
Can I put on my clothes first?
Sure, if you must. Of course you can.
That was so adorable. Moving on, we get to see some repercussions from Marinette saving the day all the time by being grounded by her parents. Obviously, she can't tell them what's going on, so it provides this really intriguing moment where you know it's unfair, but there's also nothing else she can do. I've seen it before in countless other superhero stories, and it just shows you that even doing the right thing will often bring you trouble. But you still have to do those good things, even if you're risking getting in trouble, either by your parents or the principal or whoever. It's a really excellent moment to include. Now, despite a villain I didn't particularly greatly like or dislike, the episode was fantastic from start to finish. It had pretty good action scenes, plenty of laugh-out moments, and some really interesting character moments for Ladybug, Cat Noir, and even Hawkmoth, which I definitely approve of, as well as pretty much confirming my theory about Hawkmoth as being Gabriel, even though the episode does leave some room for them to wiggle out of it. I just doubt they will. I'm pretty sure they're the same character. Okay, they're the same character. They're voiced by the same person. They look the same. They're the same. Okay? End of story. Now, besides the wrinkle in the Hawkmoth storyline, as I've already talked way too much about in this episode. There's also something I forgot to mention in my review of the Origin episodes, as I'd actually missed it and couldn't go back and include it. And that is why Hawkmoth wants the Miraculouses in the first place. Now, I could be off by a lot, but my idea, and I'm sure I'm really late to the party on this one, is that he wants the ring and earrings to revive his dead wife. We see a picture he's holding in the Origin episodes, and we see even more images of her in this one. With the great power bestowed by the Miraculouses, there's definitely a chance he could bring the dead back to life. So, what do you think? Good theory? Bad theory? I mean, if you know for a fact I'm right, please don't spoil it, but just give me your thoughts on it. Maybe I'm just way off base with this one. Anyway, that's my review of Simon Says. I hope you enjoyed the review, and if I somehow managed to leave anything of importance out, or you want me to talk about something I didn't include, leave me a comment down below. And if you could check out my Patreon, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and take care.